game than the Explorers. It's going to be Machida in the shotgun with Trips to his left to get things underway. Takes a snap and hands it off. It's a little inside handoff to Timothy Melman to get things underway for just a 1-yard gain on first down.
And not just underway for the LaSalle College High School offense, but underway for Bob Long Sports here as well. Excited to be here. Bob Long, Rob Stott, and Kevin Long on camera. This is the District 12 quarterfinal live from Plymouth White Marsh High School between LaSalle in the home navy blue uniforms with the gold helmets and the gold pants. Roman Catholic Cahillites in the all-whites with the gold helmets. Second down at about 8. It's handed off to Tim Melman, who's taken down at about the line of scrimmage. Nice job by the defensive tackle there for Roman Catholic to get out and make that play.
2 straight handoffs to start this one to Timothy Melman. Guy that's been kind of a workhorse, a change of pace type back for the Explorers all season long, and gets the first 2 calls today.
For those of you just tuning in, LaSalle's kickoff returned the kickoff to about the 27-yard line. This is now 3rd down and 8. 10 minutes and 47 seconds left in the first quarter. Switching the play at the line. Machida drops straight back. Good time over the middle, over the head of Brad Vespi. A flag comes in late.
That was a nice job by Vespi, selling that one. There was plenty of contact for sure coming down the field, but just a nice job showing that he was going for the ball. The defender clearly was not.
The question is, was that going to be catchable? And that's going to be the discussion right now. And it's going to be holding against the defense, so that's going to remove that clarification and condition for the penalty itself. So a holding does not matter. It doesn't matter any longer whether it was catchable or not. First down and 10 for the Explorers, and a little late moving the chains, and here they go on the other side of the field.
That was a nice read by Machida, too. Something that, they did when they did throw the ball last week. They didn't have to do much of it, but when they did, there was those seams down the middle, really testing the Cahillite defensive backs. And it works. Maybe not as intended on that first attempt, but
faking the give. Here's Abdul Carter on the outside. Bust through across the 40. The ball came out and ruled down. It'll be 2nd down and about 7 yards after this. Pretty creative look here, Rob.
Yeah, just a nice little swing pass. Abdul Carter stepping back and putting the ball in the hands of an athletic wide receiver there. A guy that we've seen as a linebacker, defensive back, maybe a defensive end every once in a while, but a guy they're planning to mix into this offense a little more here as we get into these playoffs.
2nd down and 7. Vespi the deep back. Here comes Liam Kennedy in motion. It's a toss sweep to that side. Melman downfield blocking, as is Kennedy. Pretty good job by the wide receivers, but Roman Catholic strings it out. That's Noah Kensey in there on the stop.
Vespi, a guy last week who got the ball quite a bit for these Explorers, getting a little pitch here. Nice job of, giving his lineman in front of him time to set up some blocks. Unable to get much. Nice pursuit there by Roman Catholic to snuff that one out.
We'll call that one a gain of 2. Machida looks to the sideline for the call.
Clearly wanting to establish their run earlier, the Explorers, in different forms and with different running backs, but wanting to get that ground game going here early.
LaSalle needs their own 49-yard line for a first down. Machida scans the field, fires to the outside, incomplete. Great defense on that side of the field by a guy we'll see a lot today, Malachi Harris, number 1.
Yeah, Harris, certainly the focal point on both sides of the ball for the Cahillites, and you see him here in great coverage. It looked like he had the younger Machida out there. Justin, just a little low throw from Jack, and bringing up 4th down. Nice stop for the Cahillites.
Roman gets off the field. Yes, indeed, Rob. Jake Gandolfo will kick this one deep. A good snap. Roman backs off, and that's a driving punt, which will land at the 16-yard line and bounce into the 11-yard line area for LaSalle. A great punt there. Coffin corner from Jake Gandolfo takes the ball out of the hands of Malachi Harris, and a little bit of extra roll for your money as well.
See this one just about toe touches the end line without going out of bounds and takes a nice Explorer's hop back into the field of play. And like you said, Bob gets that little extra roll to pin Roman back deep early.
Now it's the first time we get to see Daquan Robinson today. He's been the backup quarterback. When not playing quarterback, he's out at the wide receiver spot. But for the last 4 games, Jaden Pope, the 6'3 quarterback, has been out. Now that's a bad snap. And LaSalle picks it up and runs it into the end zone. Dylan Traynor, the senior captain. How about that for a start?
Unbelievable play. And I hearken back to last week because it was a punt that pinned the Roman Catholic Kaolites deep last week, and it was a snap over the head of Daquan Harris that resulted in a safety for the Explorers. This time it's a low snap that he's unable to handle on the first play from scrimmage for Roman Catholic, and Dylan Traynor, the senior leader, scoops it up, runs it right into the end zone. Couldn't draw it up any better for this Explorers defense.
One play, and it's a defensive touchdown here for LaSalle. Dylan Traynor runs it in from about 5 yards away. An unforced error that time by Roman Catholic. And Jake Gandolfo set to attempt the point after. It's an early 7-0 lead for LaSalle. 8:44 to play here in the first quarter.
And it's funny because I was gonna mention, if I didn't have the time to do so before that snap, but wanted to mention the fact that the first play from scrimmage last week for Roman Catholic, that Harris had that snap go over his head, and it was a positive play for the Explorers. It's like they knew what I was thinking. They wanted me to say something anyway, so just miss another snap, and it's an unforced, like you said, Bob, called an unforced error for Roman Catholic and setting the Explorers up with an early 6 points.
2 storylines we were looking for coming into this game, Rob. The first was Jaden Pope, a guy who really turned this Roman Catholic program around in many ways, along with that of the coaching staff and the rest of the team. This is a team that wasn't very competitive last year, and this year they beat a really good Archbishop Wood team by 14 points before that same Archbishop Wood team would defeat LaSalle. So we went into last week thinking, hey, what is Jaden Pope going to be able to do? He had just recently suffered an injury, wasn't able to play in that game. There was thought maybe he'd be able to get back out there and do it here today. Unfortunately for Roman Catholic, that's not the case, and a poor snap leads to a LaSalle touchdown. Here's Malachi Harris trying to get to the edge, and a great job by Brad Vespi, who really just lined up to the sideline, Rob, and said, you're going to have to go in between us here.
You mentioned it with Roman Catholic, just to talk about how this team has kind of turned it around. We see the return here.
And here's Vespi right there at the 20-yard line. Says you got to come inside. Runs him right into Griffin Zobel. That's great job of kick coverage by the LaSalle Explorers.
Yeah, but this Kaolites team full of athletes, as you'll see today, and something that they're really leaning on and has helped turn this program around.
Here's the give right up the middle. That's a strong run for about 8 yards. Chugging up the line is Shamar Ellis.
Yeah, and that is Shamar Ellis, who we saw a lot of last week, and you'll see the Kaolites doing much the same, wanting to establish that run early and putting the ball in the hands of a big back in Ellis, the junior, 5'10", 200 pounds.
Daquan Robinson under center. Again, it's Ellis. Ellis got maybe 1 yard, cut the deficit in half. It'll be 3rd down and inches. So the other storyline besides that of Jaden Pope, Rob, was Sam Brown going to play? Hurt at about the same time. Pope for Roman Catholic, Sam Brown for LaSalle, both the engines of these offenses. And I think we thought perhaps with both of those players was last week kind of a dry run, keep them out, don't show your cards, and then we might see them next week. I don't think we'll see either of them here tonight. 3rd down and 1. Robinson keeps his feet, and a big run here for the quarterback for Roman Catholic. Taken down inside the 40.
And that was a case of Abdul Carter having Robinson dead to rights, and just instead of wrapping his man up, trying to throw a shoulder into him, and just an excellent job of Robinson to keep his balance and turn that ball upfield and pick up the 1st down and then some.
And you hate to say it this early, Rob, but perhaps a momentum-shifting breaking tackle there. 7:13 to play. Roman Catholic just had the wind punched out of them, and now they get the offense going. And another big run from Ellis. Right up the middle, that's a gain of 5.
And credit to Roman. I mean, they saw kind of the havoc last week that this defensive front for LaSalle can cause, and they're just going right after, the teeth, the mouth of this defensive line, and Ellis is finding holes, and the Roman Catholic line's creating those holes and able to pick up big chunk yards of play here.
Right up the middle, Ellis breaks another tackle, and it'll be another 2 yards for him. Sets up third and manageable for the Roman Catholic Cahillites, trailing 7-0 here in the first.
And you'll see again just a nice job by that right side for the Cahillites offensive line, creating space, keeping their blocks, and giving Ellis a little bit of room to make this a third and manageable.
And that's Abdul Carter again, who nearly brought him down. But Ellis staying strong, keeping the legs churning. Now C.J. Mole checks into the game. Mole is taken down. Thompson. Chris Thompson didn't miss that tackle. It'll be fourth down and decision time for Roman Catholic.
Thompson, maybe sick of hearing me talk about the great blocking for Roman Catholic, deciding to do something about it himself there and just shedding his blocker and throwing Mole down. Guy who was pretty successful last week and just kind of that change of pace, much smaller back, 3 inches shorter and a good 50 pounds lighter than Ellis.
Easy decision here, Riverboat Rob, huh? Fourth down.
It's playoff time.
Robinson taken down.
Or is he? Whew.
Perhaps just a little bit premature, but the big men for the Explorers coming in there. Number 57, Sam Graham is the one who wrapped him up.
Graham cleaning up what, was Robinson dead to rights in the backfield there, but Graham not letting him get away that time. Yep. Graham coming right into your living rooms there, essentially, and just throwing Robinson down, saying, thanks for trying.
So the Explorers defense, first a defensive touchdown, now a fourth down stop, forces the turnover, and it's 2 turnovers in as many possessions here for the Cahillites. Now a pistol look, Brad Vespi, the deep man. Faking the give, and they'll throw it back to him on the screen. Got to make one miss, and does. Here goes Vespi down the sideline. Steps out of bounds at the LaSalle 48-yard line.
Nice.
Put your playmakers in space, Rob, and sometimes you got to make one guy miss.
Yep, and just a nice job kind of selling that, too, by Machida, bootlegging out to his right, coming back to his running back. Sort of forced to with the pressure in his face, but nice job by Vespi making a man miss and cutting it upfield.
The Explorers got to the line quickly. Now look to the sideline, evaluate. 8 men in the box as Vespi takes it off tackle. Vespi has the first down, needed 1, and got 4 across midfield into Roman Catholic territory.
And we saw a lot of it last week. I said, Vespi got a lot of carries for the Explorers last week with Brown out, and you had Mayo Howell sitting on the sidelines as well, but just doing a nice job. One of the things we noticed last week was that he has no quit in him. We'll keep those legs turning. I know he's an undersized running back, but we'll keep those legs churning and, picks up the first down, and just a hard runner is Vespi.
Now 2 backs in the backfield. Millman to the left of Machida. And they'll do that same play again. Vespi has room to the outside, and he makes that one miss again. Vespi off to the races. Knocked out just shy of the end zone. And let's get one more look here. That's the key right there. Make that first guy miss, and then it's nothing but green grass.
He had all the space in the world, and then you'll see Rob Tatum, not wanting to have that block in the back. Vespi makes the cut for him so he doesn't have to, and uses Tatum again to just get a little extra block there, and I'm sure he'll be hearing about not putting that one in the end zone.
Oh, now Vespi not in the backfield. Fantasy owners everywhere unhappy. And now offside being called against Roman Catholic. That'll go, about half a yard closer to the end zone. They were inside the 1. Now they're mere inches from the goal line.
Love watching them just inch that ball. He's like, let me just pick it's a little shuffle.
And now Vespi is the deep man. Tim Mellman, candidate for a fullback dive. And it will be Mellman punching it in. Touchdown, LaSalle. The Explorers lead 13-0. And the big play in that drive was the huge screen play to Brad Vespi twice that led them down to the goal line.
Yeah, and when you got a guy like Mellman getting the ball out of the backfield and big offensive linemen in front of him, it's almost a given, that the offense gets their blocks on, and Mellman punching the ball into the end zone.
The start that LaSalle was looking for here this afternoon. 14-0, 4:36 to play here in the first quarter. And Rob, it's a game that you guys called last week while I was away, and sure, 30-6 may look a certain way on the final score, but for a long time, that game 16-6, yep. Roman hanging around. This has a different feel here on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it was a little sloppy last week. Just unable to complete drives was the offense. Defense, obviously, doing what they've done all season long, keeping offenses out of the end zone. But, nice to see this offense, especially after that first drive, wanting to establish the run, getting forced to punt, using the momentum of the fumble recovery touchdown by the defense, and then coming back out on their second drive and bringing the ball all the way down the field with ease. So it was nice to see them, go to a couple different weapons, turn to Vespi, get the big plays, and punch the ball into the end zone.
Jake Gandolfo will kick it deep. Malachi Harris is back there deep to receive, as is CJ Mole. This one is angled Harris's way. He'll come across and catch it at the 6. Harris waits for blocks, has a seam, and is taken down there at the 27-yard line. Pretty good tackle by Jalen Hanton. We'll get one more look at Hanton here, who made a key interception in the second game of the season, has been a great defensive back all year, and that time saved what could have been a little bit more from Malachi Harris. I saw Harris for the first time, Rob, when he was a sophomore playing 7-on-7 ball, and I thought, man, this undersized kid is just dynamic in every sense of the word. Still kind of remained at that 5'8", 5'9" type level, but he is and has been wreaking havoc all year long. LaSalle actually held him to his lowest catch total and yardage total last weekend. 3 catches, 14 yards. Shamar Ellis having a day early on, though. He gets to the second level and gains 13 and a first down.
That was a nice job just by Harris bringing that pitch in and just looking the offensive line, kind of creating a seal for him, giving him that edge, and able to find some space and pick up the first down and then some.
Yeah, Dylan Traynor got untouched into the backfield, and just a little hesitation move from Ellis forced Traynor to freeze, and he got to the outside, made the play, got the first down. Ellis hit at the line of scrimmage and falls forward. It's what all the Penn State fans like to say about Mr. Noah Kane, the true freshman. He gets hit, and he falls forward.
Yeah, that's one, Ellis could have been stopped at the line of scrimmage, but nice job picking up 2. Just using his size and able to fall, like you say, fall forward and at least create something positive out of that.
Second down and about 8 yards to go. 3:44 to play. LaSalle 14-0 lead. Daquan Robinson, a designed keeper, and he's going to get past the line to gain across midfield and a first down for Roman Catholic.
Last week it wasn't necessarily so many designed keepers for the quarterback here, but, doing a nice job using, like we said, just a lot of athletes on this Roman Catholic team, and they're putting them to use and able to move the ball here early on.
Changing the play at the line. Robinson looks to his left. C.J. Mole in the backfield with him. 2 receivers. A high snap. They'll throw a screen. That's a pretty good. No, it's not a catch. It's bobbled all around, and it's going to be incomplete. Oh. Boy, he snatched that, the receiver did, with one hand. Looked like he had it for a second, and we're going to show you this again. You can see the pinball effect. Nearly a catch, nearly an interception.
It looked like it was Savage who almost came up with the pick, but then just, unable to hold on to it. That's why he's a defensive end.
Tell you what, he's got those big hands, though. Long arms allows him to get by these tackles. C.J. Mole, a nice run-off tackle, and that'll make up a good bit of ground. We'll call it 3rd down and 4.
You'll see the edges here. It's kind of like Roman is allowing the defensive ends to use their speed against them, get deep, and then just shove them out of the way to create that hole for, was that Ellis there or Mole?
C.J. Mole.
Mole. So allow Mole to get by them or let them get by Mole before creating some space and bringing up a 3rd and manageable.
They give it to Ellis. Ellis churns forward, dives for the line, sticks the football out, and has it a half yard past the line to gain. What an effort from Shamar Ellis, the junior.
Just a really nice job, by the defensive line to not give much space, but Ellis just working it and keeping those legs moving. And then, like you said, you'll see the reach at the end here, just putting that ball past the line to gain.
Boy, I'm okay with that reach when that line is the goal line. Once you touch that line or get it to cross the play and the play's over, that is a dangerous play, but he got away with it, and it's a first down for the Kaleites.
And another impressive drive for them here early in this game.
Have not yet finished the job. They'll throw the lob. Has Harris, and Harris is just a bit overthrown. Griffin Zobel in coverage.
It's a good spot by Robinson.
Really wasn't a bad throw at all.
No, and maybe, just Harris unable to track it, finding it late, and looking over one shoulder ends up over his other shoulder. He's unable to haul it in.
2nd down and 10. That's the first shot that they've taken thus far this afternoon. The wind starts to kick up here at Plymouth Whitemarsh. As that's a high snap, he does handle it. Trying to bounce it to the outside. And taken down by Meacham. That's a sack for Meacham, a loss of 2.
That was a nice job as well by really every Explorer in pursuit of that ball. We've seen Robinson's moves. He's got the ability to make a man miss, stay on his feet as well, but just a nice job by the Explorers hawking to that ball and bringing Robinson down.
Same concept, Rob, as we talk about with Brad Vespi on that kickoff. Dylan Traynor was in the middle, so Meacham says, hey, I'm putting my foot down. You're not getting to the outside. You got to go back inside where I have all my help. 3rd down and 13. Here comes Robinson. Robinson has the first down. Taken down inside the 25-yard line. And it looked like a designed QB draw. He takes one look, and there he goes. Maybe not so designed after all. He got to his second progression. My mistake.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like it was kind of shades of last week where he felt the pressure right away. It was a nice job by the Explorers getting pressure on Robinson, and Robinson recognizing that pressure, tucking it, and using his athleticism to pick up another first down for the Cahillites.
And boy, is he athletic, Rob. You guys saw that last week, but he can move. Now they'll sweep it for Ellis. Ellis gets to the outside, pretty well strung out. Again, it's Meacham, but really a big play there by number 45 for LaSalle, Timothy Barrett, for taking on 2 blockers and allowing Meacham there to make that open field tackle. There were 2 guys trying to take down 45, and that's all you can ask of your defensive end on a play like that.
Yeah, maybe just unfortunate for Roman that they decided to run that play to really the short side of the field, so not much room to get that edge set for their blockers. And like you said, also a nice job of LaSalle to allow that to get stretched out and not give them too much room.
CJ Mole, and now they run him right up the middle. So Roman Catholic goes toss sweep to the outside with their 5'10", 200-pound running back, and up the middle with their 5'7", 150 back.
A little backwards.
That's the end of the first quarter. A quick one here from Plymouth Whitemarsh High School. LaSalle 14-0, a lead over the Cahillites in the District 12 quarterfinal.
And really a big drive here for Roman Catholic. They gave up the fumble recovery touchdown on the first play. The first play for Roman Catholic on their first offensive drive. And then the quick strike by the offense as well, putting LaSalle up 14-0 early on in this one. So an opportunity for them to bring this within a one-score game as they drive the ball. So if they want to keep this one close here early, they're looking for an answer right now. And they're doing it with their, like we talked about at the top, the athleticism of the guys they have on this offense, guys that have, kind of maybe understand the recent history of Roman Catholic football and want to say that's not us. That's not who we are out there. And, they're making some statements. They did it earlier this year against a couple teams that you might have otherwise written them off against in previous seasons. But here they are, 5-5, 3 seed. They could have been the 2 seed, depending on the result last week. They were playing for a 2 seed. But, just good to see this program, the coaches, and everything they've been able to do with the Cahillites to bring them back in relatively quick fashion.
And here they are with 2 sustained drives. The time of possession will certainly be on the side of Roman Catholic through that first quarter. But now this Cahillite team looking to punch it in. It's 3rd down and 8 from the 20. Robinson steps up, fires into double coverage, and it still nearly got to Malachi Harris in a position to catch the football.
That was an excellent look by Robinson, a great throw by him to give Harris an opportunity to come down with that one, but just unable to haul it in.
So now 4th down, and they will send the kicker onto the field.
And we were watching pregame, and this kicker trying to wait for the number. Flaherty, I believe, is the last name, if I remember right, 23.
Ryan Flaherty, the senior.
He was
place kicker.
Booting some through from 45 pregame.
This is 37, a low one, not going to get there. Might have been tipped at the line. And LaSalle's defense, a bend but don't break effort, gets off the field again. The goose egg remains on the scoreboard.
And I'll take credit for that one. The announcer's jinx, saying he was booting them through. That's what I was hoping for, but no.
There you go.
Just clearly didn't get the right contact on that ball, not underneath it. He topped it for all you golf folks out there.
Speaking of golf, Tiger Woods, 82 career wins.
Unbelievable.
Almost regardless of how you feel about the guy personally, that is unbelievable.
I mean, you consider how many years off essentially because of injury?
Yeah, sure. And Sam Snead won his 82nd into his 50s. Tiger's midway through his 40s and still going. Looks healthy. That can all change in a moment, as we know, but very impressive.
Is the Jack record attainable?
It could be. We shall see. He's got 4 more to tie it. First time we have seen Sam Brown, which is a great sign for LaSalle. As that one's across the middle, Brad Vesby, a nice crossing route there on the read option. Put the defense in a position where, hey, Sam Brown's in the game. We got to put more in the box. And then run your speedy little wide out across the middle. Great play by Vesby. Great play call by Joe Wade.
Nice job by Machida finding Vesby as he's cutting across the field and putting it right on him to haul that one in. And Vesby, I mean, the last couple of weeks has been a workhorse for this offense. Clearly, a big part of them being able to move the ball down the field.
Tim Melman. Melman taken down at the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 10 upcoming for the Explorers. We tick under 11 minutes and 10 seconds left in the first half.
It'll be interesting. Brown is out there. Is it as a decoy? I don't think they'd be putting him out there in harm's way if he wasn't able to be out there, but,
Until you see that first touch, though.
First touch, how he takes the contact, the first hit.
He's set up in a position where he could come in motion from here. Instead, it's a straight snap. They'll throw to the outside. Vesby nearly gets to the line to gain. Now the referee's going to give him a pretty favorable spot right to the 50. Let's see this again as Vesby gets spun around.
I had him at least a yard, maybe 2 shy, but forward progress there, I guess.
Got to get to the 50 for the first down, and I don't see it.
He's at least half a yard shy.
But still, nonetheless,
nice
a heck
effort.
of a play call there. Roman Catholic brings an extra blitzer. Brad Vesby fills that space, find him, and head downfield. He'll throw it over the middle. He's got Matt Bowes. Bowes will walk to the end zone. Touchdown, LaSalle.
Those seams up the middle, the Cahillites were susceptible to it last week, and once again, Bowes, a guy who scored a touchdown last week as well, in a similar fashion, is taking that ball right up the seam, making one shoelace tackler miss, putting the Explorers up 20-0.
And as we always do, you got to give credit to the camera folks here. Kevin Long doing a great job getting that last shot of Matt Bowes running in for a touchdown on a beautiful pass from Jack Machida. Jake Gandolfo pumps it through, and LaSalle leads 21-0 over Roman Catholic. A little bit of momentum for this Explorer team who, I don't know that they'd tell you this, but, I don't know that we'd say it because I think they have played well and they ran into a Wood team, but the coaches might tell you, hey, we scuffled a little bit. Didn't play our best football down the stretch. But this is where the season becomes the postseason, and these guys have a little bit of momentum right now, and You know, it's a high standard that they hold for themselves at LaSalle, and they are playing up to that right now without a doubt.
Yeah, and it's playoff time. Everyone's 0-0 here, 0-0. So it's a new season, and anything can happen. We know what's potentially in store for the Explorers next week. You never want to look ahead. We're only, barely just over a quarter into this one, so you don't want to start thinking about what could be. But it's postseason football. It's high school football. Anything's possible.
This portion of today's game brought to you by our partners at XII Salle in Ambler, a great place right in downtown Ambler by the train station to go get yourself a great dinner with your family any night of the week. It's our favorite spot to go before or after LaSalle College High School football games. Enjoy time with friends and family and watch us on the big screen at Casey's Alley in Ambler. Here's Malachi Harris. He'll return it again. Gets to the outside, has some decent blocking there, but tripped down. A good play by LaSalle in coverage, taken down at about the 29-yard line.
And a little post-return action, a little chippy. Clearly, the Cahillites are tired of being pushed around here. Being down 21-0, things not going their way in this playoff game, and temper is certainly going to start flaring in this one. And hopefully, want to see both sides cooler heads prevail, but
here is the give to Ellis right up the middle, a gain of 3. Second down and about 7 coming up.
Ellis, him and Mole have been kind of that 1-2 punch, and again, just finding a little bit of room, able to stay, as they would say, on schedule, the 3-yard gain. Timeout.
Timeout called by Roman Catholic. And Rob, you guys did an unbelievable job last week.
Really?
Of a lot of things. Yes, but especially of reading our good friends and our good sponsors' ads. So I would love if you could take one of those here at this halftime. Let's talk about our good friends Carrie Guerin Boyle and Jim McLaughlin.
Right now. This portion of today's game is brought to you by Carrie Guerin Boyle and Jim McLaughlin of the Carrie Guerin Boyle team at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Fox and Roach Realtors. Jim is a LaSalle alumni. His father and his own 3 sons attended LaSalle as well. Carrie's family's been here for generations as well, and she currently has a sophomore in the class of 2022. Jim and Carrie have trusted their family to LaSalle, and you can trust that you will be treated like family when buying or selling your home from this real estate team. Call Jim at 267-242-5991 or Carrie at 267-626-6818 for any real estate questions. Licensed in Pennsylvania and New Jersey for all your local needs.
And here's the shotgun snap to Robinson. He'll take off again up the middle, has the first down and a lot more. Gets across midfield and into LaSalle territory for a first down.
That, again, just a situation where Robinson recognizing that the pressure is around him, and maybe as well just a good job in coverage by the defensive backs and tucking it and doing it himself and moving the ball for the Cahillites.
There's a high snap, and Ellis is going to fall on it for Roman Catholic. LaSalle nearly had another turnover there.
Paul Jennings wanting to get Robinson away from the ball and should have went for the ball instead, maybe. Would have had 2 Explorers around it, and it's almost blocked. I think that was DeVos down there as well with him. Just basically took DeVos out of the play and let a lineman fall on it. So it's 2nd and 15 for the Cahillites. A little shifting.
A naked set as he tries to avoid pressure but can't. Ryan Savage picks up the sack.
Savage finally getting to Robinson in the backfield. Feel like he's been there all afternoon. This time you see him kind of swapping sides from where we used to normally seeing him.
and taken down there. Loss of about 2 on that sack. It'll be 3rd down, and we'll call it 18 yards. 7:41 to play, clock ticking here in the second quarter. Robinson drops straight back. Cox once. Will get to the line of scrimmage. Won't go down, but will be taken down at that line of scrimmage. 4th down upcoming. I tell you, a lot of effort. Pretty impressive that he stays on his feet, but LaSalle had him bottled up.
Clearly, Robinson wants to put this team on his shoulder and, not give up and fight for every yard and keep plays alive, but too much is this LaSalle Explorers defense.
And it's 4th down. Roman Catholic calls the timeout with 7:17 to play. Decision time, but you would think almost certainly have to punt this one away and live to see your defense on the field trying to get a stop.
You got one for 4th and 18?
What, a play call?
Yeah.
I do. A punter. Unless you got something for me, Riverboat Rob.
I got nothing.
Nothing?
If I have nothing, clearly you need to bring the punter in.
Yes, it's been an alter ego for Rob Stott for many years here on Bob Long Sports since we started doing this 5 years ago. Riverboat Rob, when in doubt, go for it on 4th down. And this looks like Malachi is not.
Yeah.
Malachi Harris, number 1. And he struggles with it. Taken down by Savage. So a mishandle of the snap by the wide receiver, defensive back, do-it-all, Malachi Harris. But he can't handle that one, and Ryan Savage cleans it up.
And unless that's something that Harris is used to and has worked on in practice, I hope that's a real tough time to call that kind of play. I think, in that situation, you got to just punt it away and hope that your defense can, you saw what they were able to do on the first drive of the game. They did hold the Explorers, so not a call I'll necessarily agree with.
1st down and 10 for LaSalle. Best field position that they've had. Machida, he'll take a shot. Looking for Justin Machida, lays out for it and makes the play. Down to the 1-yard line.
A little backyard football, anyone?
And why not? You get a turnover like that, you got a chance to really stick it to him, take the shot.
The brother-to-brother connection and just an unbelievable diving effort by Justin, pardon me, to haul that one in down at the 1-yard line. And then, unfortunately, the high school rules, obviously once that knee's down, could have rolled into the end zone there at any other level.
Goal line look defensively as Millman heads up the middle, spins towards the end zone. Touchdown, LaSalle. Tim Millman has his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon, and LaSalle takes a commanding 27-0 lead over Roman Catholic.
The man who can put the dot on the exclamation point. 2 drives now, getting down to the 1, turn around, give it to that big fullback, let him run up right behind that big offensive line and just pound it into the end zone.
Jake Gandolfo has a busy day so far. 6:36 to play second quarter, on for his 4th point after attempt. And he is 4 for 4.
And I will point out that it bounced over the fence, so it's officially out of the stadium.
Out of the stadium. I know that was a favorite of you guys last week at
sure
A-Field.
Was. No car alarms went off, but that's one of the quirky things about that stadium, that field, is that little extra points would just fly out of there, essentially across the street in Conshohocken. But another, like you said, Bob, just an opportunity with the short field, and nice to see the Explorers take that shot on the first play. Why not? You're already up 21-0, got nothing to lose, everything to gain in that situation, and let the Machitas go to work and come together, come down with the nice connection.
Rob, as you know, this football game isn't the only thing going on with LaSalle Athletics here today. A huge day First, it was the cross-country state championships in Hershey. Then it's this football game. Kickoff was at 1:30, and then the soccer team continues their play through the playoffs, and excited for that game at 3 o'clock as well. Little pooch kick taken down and out of bounds at the 30-yard line. But we do have an update from Hershey, Pennsylvania, and a strong LaSalle College High School cross-country team led by Greg Bilecki came in second place today at the state championships with 84 points. And really, a great effort from that team. Downingtown West had a very strong effort here today with 65 points. They won the state championship, but congratulations to this LaSalle College High School cross-country team for another strong finish in the state championships out in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Robinson bounces to the outside and kind of trips over maybe one of his own offensive linemen. He'll go down for a sack and a loss of 2.
That time it almost did look designed for Robinson, but just a nice job in pursuit by the LaSalle defensive front, not letting him get anywhere and actually bringing him down for a loss.
Clock ticks, 6 minutes and 5 seconds left here in the second quarter. LaSalle College High School football in the District 12 quarterfinal live on Bob Long Sports. Bob Long, Rob Stott, play-by-play. Kevin Long doing a great job on camera this afternoon. Big hit there by Tyson Goldstein in the backfield, and Shamar Ellis barely got that football before he was being barreled down upon.
That was just unbelievable penetration by Goldstein to come around the edge, essentially untouched, ducking a blocker, and able to bring down Ellis.
And a timeout has been called, an official timeout.
Injury. Ellis, it looked like.
Oh, it's Ellis, okay.
It looked like when Goldstein got him at, right in the side that he went down, looked in a little discomfort, but clearly now needing to come off of the field.
It's unfortunate for Ellis. He, in a game where Roman Catholic hasn't been able to punch it in, they have had several long drives, and Shamar Ellis has been a part of all of them. Hope that he's okay and can get back into the game soon. But a big responsibility on C.J. Mole. Robinson throws it deep, and it's intercepted. A flag comes in late. Meacham stepped out of bounds. Let's see what the call is, but see if we can get one more look at this one. Robinson fires it high. Never had a chance for his intended receiver.
Likely to be holding on Ford.
And there it is. The call does come. Holding against Eric Ford, and that's a shame for LaSalle because I think without that hold, there's no way that receiver, Malachi Harris, with all the speed he has even,
just catching up to
gets to that ball.
No. Way overthrown.
But it should be an automatic first down for Roman Catholic. 5:14 to play in the second quarter.
Well, 10 yards. So
yeah, you're right. We went through this earlier in the year. Odd high school football rules where, yes, it's 10 yards, and defensive holding is not an automatic first down like it is at college or pro or any other level of football. So this, you're right, a unique aspect of high school football that we did experience earlier this year.
So they still have an opportunity again on third down to get them off the field. And you need a defensive back out here. You got an uncovered wide receiver.
And here comes Carter. Good eye there, Rob. C.J. Mole heads to the outside and has a lot of room across the 50, inside the 40, and pulled down inside the 30-yard line.
Dylan Traynor in there on the stop, losing his helmet. Uncovered wide receiver didn't matter because they were going to Mole the whole time, and the speedy, smaller running back for the Cahillites doing his job to get around that edge and, find his blockers and pick up way more than what they needed.
Now, because of that helmet coming off from Dylan Traynor, by rule he has to come off the field for one play. He already has his water bottle in front of him and looks about ready to come back into the game as Dave Crow takes one quick look at him. Now this, a lob for Mole, and Mole gets hit hard.
Wow.
Had to hang in there and make the play, but he did, and Roman Catholic is in business offensively.
That's one where I don't know Robinson needed to float it as much as he did. He could have just put it right on Mole, but floating it like that, just let the defenders pursue, and it just was a Mole sandwich. Unbelievable. Oh, that's going to hurt.
Now, Thompson was in the area, so he may needed to put some air on it, but maybe not as much, to your point. And they're riding C.J. Mole. He gets a couple yards, call it 4, right up the middle. So Shamar Ellis comes out of the game. C.J. Mole continues the fight here for Roman Catholic. And a key defensive holding. This drive continues on into the Explorers' defensive zone.
Yep, would have been an interception and turnover for the Explorers. That would have been their 3rd of the game. But here we are now, 2nd and 7, and the Cahillites in position to score.
It's pulled this time from Robinson. Twisted down at the 5-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and short. It's a pretty good tackle on the outside here by LaSalle. Saved what would have been a touchdown.
Yeah, we've seen Robinson make a couple men miss already today and use his athletic ability to avoid would-be tacklers, and that time just a nice job by the Explorers to bring him down by his legs.
And it was Abdul Carter making the play from the linebacking core. They say 3rd down and 4. 3:35 to play second quarter. Roman Catholic looking to get on the board. Ellis right back into the game, runs through one tackler, and falls across for a touchdown. Roman Catholic is on the board.
There it is. Guess Ellis is healthy. He got in there. You want to use your power back in a situation like that down near the goal line and gets enough blocking, enough of a hole to get through and doing what he's been doing well all afternoon, and that's falling forward this time right across the goal line.
Ryan Flaherty on for the point after. Flaherty got that one up a lot better than the field goal attempt. That one was pounded through, and Roman Catholic has 7 points on the board, trails LaSalle 28-7. And they do receive the football to begin the second half, for what that is worth. 3:25 to play here. They do have just the one timeout remaining in this first half. But what's essential if you're a Cahillite fan is to make sure you get a stop on this drive. If you get a chance to move the ball, again, after that stop, that's all gravy. But, job number 1 for this Roman Catholic team, Rob, has to be to get a stop right here and keep a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, and they've had a tough time doing that against the Explorers ever since that first drive of the game. It's been, the Explorers offense marching right down the field against these Cahillites. So, another opportunity, we love talking about this all season long, but that interception, if that stands, that's an opportunity for LaSalle to go down and start that running clock. So a big, win there for the Cahillites to not only keep the ball and avoid the turnover, but to put points on the board and, again, keep the Explorers 14 points away from, starting that running clock.
Mayo Howell is into the game. First time we've seen him here this afternoon. The first time that Roman Catholic will kick it off to LaSalle. Ryan Moore on the other side picks it up at the 15-yard line. Moore hit first at the 30, nudges forward for another 3. 3:18 to play here in the first half. LaSalle a 28-7 lead over Roman Catholic. And Jack Machida will run the offense back out onto the field. He's had a good day, and actually, as I say that, Machida came out of the huddle there, and it's going to be Gavin Daly.
Yep.
So the first time we've seen Gavin Daly. It's funny, he was in there in the huddle, and Joe Wade said something to him. Here comes Gavin Daly, and Machida gives him a tap on the helmet. Says, go get him, sophomore. Up the middle he goes, and a pretty good start for Gavin Daly. More of the running threat, at least at this point in his career. I think the continued development from a throwing perspective will be important for him, but he can certainly sling it if he needs to. He's one of those downhill runners that can effectively run that option-style offense, the read option with the option to pull and run it as the quarterback.
Yeah, and we've seen him pull it and call his own number quite a few times this season, and certainly a different look at quarterback for the Explorers.
He'll pull it again, and a great job by Roman Catholic to not really worry about it. They were just going to shoot the gap, and a big-time play by the Cahillites. Number 35, James Kunick, in there on the stop.
Would have been better served to let number 2, Mr. Vespi, take the ball on that one, but Daly making maybe the wrong read, or I imagine that would have been the read, right? So he ended up holding on to the ball unless it was designed to keep it, but.
No, it's the read, absolutely, yep. Yep, what he's doing there, the quarterback is normally looking at, all sides, but the edge rusher, right, that you're leaving as a free rusher, seeing what decision that edge rusher makes and pulling the opposite. That time it was a defensive tackle getting by a guard, and a really nice job by Kunick. So a timeout called by Roman Catholic. That is their last.
And it looks like, I think I saw the swap back. Did I see Mr. Machida get back into the huddle here?
We'll take a look here, yes.
Looks like they'll put it in their gunslinger's hand for 3rd down. And
there he is, the 15,
6.
right in the center of your screen. And I don't mind the look to put Gavin Daly in, to switch, obviously, the look up. And you're looking to burn this clock out, right, and potentially to get a big play, sure. But really what you want to do is take this into the half at minimum without Roman Catholic getting the football back. That was the look with Daly. Now here's Jack Machida trying to throw for the 1st down. Caught by Brad Vespi. He's got a 1st down and a lot more. Vespi pushed out of bounds at the 40. And boy, put your foot in the turf, Brad Vespi, and switch directions. What a play right there.
That is an incredibly hard cut by Vespi to turn around, make that catch, haul it in, and shed the defender with just a ridiculous cut. But there's a something.
Go for it, Rob. I hear what you're snickering about. Illegal block in the back called against LaSalle.
Clearly the fan, LaSalle side not liking that call. It's on the striped shirt referee to go back to Foot Locker.
Yikes.
Ay. That's creative. I'll give him that.
Sure.
That's creative.
Something like that. 1st down and 10, however, as that block in the back happened at the 45-yard line. Machida coming the other way with it. Brad Vespi comes under it and makes the play. Boy, for as good of a play as Kunick played the last time to get Daly in the backfield, this time he gets totally lost on a ball that, hey, not a bad look there, but also was kind of a chance taken. If Kunick can get his head around, there's a chance to make that interception, but Vespi comes under it beautifully.
He does, and a nice adjustment still there by Vespi to come back to that ball. And I mean, Machida, too, to put it up and give his, maybe ill-advised a little bit, but, to give his receiver a chance. And that play now, that's the 3rd time we've seen that little bootleg and then come back to Vespi work.
And this is a delay draw. Jack Machida falls forward to the 30, gain of 5. Pretty nice run from the senior quarterback for LaSalle.
And the clock ticking under 140 here in the 1st half. It's nice to see the Explorers not only keep the drive alive, but keep the clock ticking and not give the Cahillites an opportunity to get this ball back before the end of the half.
And you hear the sweet sounds of the band coming there. And when you hear that band churning and the chains moving as a defense, that's not a good thing if you're one of the opposition of LaSalle. Gavin Daly sneaks forward a gain of 1. But one of the beautiful things about high school sports, and LaSalle is obviously one of the best bands in the state, but they start churning, those quarterbacks going downhill. Again, a tough spot to be as a defensive player for Roman Catholic or any opponent.
Yeah, and I mean, even, another point that we talk about all season long is just the plethora of weapons that this offense has, and they could really put the ball in anyone's hand. You see them swapping quarterbacks in and out, give you a different look that way. You've got so many different guys that can, for Machida or Daly to turn around and give the ball to, or, coming out of the backfield. We see it, like we said a couple times today already, the little bootleg come back for the screen pass the other direction. And, I mean, so many looks for this offense and what Coach Schwade has, and it's a lot of fun to watch. I mean, they've been keeping us on our toes all season long, and we know who the weapons are, and there's just too many to count, and it's kept, I'm sure, giving opposing defensive coordinators and head coaches fits, trying to plan for who you want to stop on this offense and for these Explorers.
This portion of today's game brought to you by Treasure Sign. They produce the beautiful carved signs with gold leaf lettering that you see outside LaSalle in the parking lots and throughout campus. Their design team will work with you to create a sign that will deliver the message for your business. And remember, and this is my favorite, your sign works for you 24 hours a day and never asks for a raise. Get noticed today with Treasure Sign. Chris Convey, Jim Convey, class of 91 and 93, big supporters of LaSalle football. Third and short, Machida to the outside, nearly intercepted. Great job by Roman Catholic to jump the route. That's number 8, Amir Adams.
Though, is a flag in the backfield, roughing the passer.
And there it is.
High school refs taking a cue from their NFL brethren. I didn't see the hit myself personally, but sure, if it's drawing a flag in high school, it's probably worth it.
So now with 1:10 to play in this half, LaSalle is in business offensively. Chance to punch it in and add a score before the half. They lead currently 28-7.
Now down with inside the 15. Oh, just outside the 15.
Yeah, they're going to mark him down at the 17-yard line. Jack Machida has taken the balance of the snaps here today, save for about 3, where Gavin Daly has gotten in there, and that's been a good mix-up, I think. Certainly that keeps the other team on their heels. Roman Catholic, no timeouts remaining in this half.
Still getting something sorted out between the referees. I think one thinks it's supposed to be on the 15.
And I think they are going to do just that. Yeah, far side referee is standing on about the 14-yard line.
So, I was right.
You were right.
The 15.
Yes, just inside. Now they're still moving it as they get to the line, spot the ball. Now they're moving it back a half yard. You got the chains moving closer to the end zone, the ball being spotted a yard further back from the end zone, and they're both moving at the same time. Now I think we're ready for football. Just a shade inside the 15. Brad Vespi takes the screen, cuts inside to the 5, and gets inside to about the 4-yard line. First down on the gain of 11 on the screen pass to Brad Vespi.
Vespi showing off all the moves today. I mean, the hard cuts, spin moves, making guys miss, shedding tacklers. Give this guy the ball in space, and he'll make something happen.
Yeah, and you love to see a senior coming into his own at the tail end of the season. I mean, he's had a great year all year, but no doubt about it, seeing a little bit less Sam Brown in recent weeks has allowed for Brad Vespi to get some more touches, and he's done a great job in that opportunity. Machida pulls it, a good decision, as he gets to the end zone. He came up a yard short, but a pretty clear block in the back. Going to call this one back.
Yeah.
And Rob Tatum, I think, is going to be tabbed as the culprit.
Can see that one from up here.
Top side of the screen, watch it right here as he's holding on that cornerback for Roman Catholic.
He was there. I mean, I don't know, situation, you want to try to do something as a blocker in that position, but
you can't. I mean, you just can't do it.
Nope.
So now it'll be first down and goal, and LaSalle will burn their second timeout of the half. Comes with 44 seconds left in the half. And, you know, Rob, this has been, I think, in so many ways an interesting season for this LaSalle program. They went 5-6 last year, started with an incredibly difficult schedule, had a really tough injury at the quarterback position. And this year, they took the momentum that they had at the end of the season. They really built into their best selves at the end of last year and went unbeaten in the non-league portion of the schedule against some really difficult teams. Malvern Prep, Imhotep Charter, North Penn was a rout, and that was kind of the point where I think we thought, hey, this team can really be good this year. And they have been. A tough loss to St. Joseph's Prep. Just about anybody that's played them can say that. Yeah. And then an absolute classic against Archbishop Wood, who played their best game of the season against LaSalle. But here they are, an impressive win last week against Roman. They're playing very well right now, looking to punch it in. You'd have to say, once again, they're starting to play their best football heading into their biggest game of the season, which, if they're fortunate to win this one, would be next weekend against St. Joseph's Prep.
Clearly built for this time of year, and nice to see them. You know, they know when when it matters. Not that it doesn't matter all season long, but nice to see them really step it up come this time of year.
They'll throw the lob for Abdul Carter. Went up with one hand, couldn't bring it in.
Nice job by Carter. Kind of using the defender to get a little extra height there. Push up, just unable to come down with it with the one-hand grab. We'll see it here.
This was the play that they ran in the first overtime against Archbishop Wood. That play was a completion and a touchdown. Obviously missed the extra point, which was the end of the game. But, man, I tell you, when you have that type of weapon in the end zone or in the goal line area, you might be able to do it again. Here's Gavin Daly pitching to the outside as he gets across the 10 to about the 8-yard line. Under 30 seconds to play. And LaSalle calls a timeout with 29 seconds left. I think I might have let a few more seconds bleed off that, Rob. And perhaps you're looking for an interference or something that could allow you to have a 1st and goal at the 1 or something to that effect. But beyond that, surprised they don't let that run down to about 15 seconds.
Yeah, it's exactly the time frame I was going to say left, and especially with it being 3rd down. So, you figure you're going for a pass attempt into the end zone. You're not going to try to stay in the field of play here. So it's score or, keep the ball for that field goal attempt for the Explorers here. So.
Meanwhile, Rob, you also, I suppose maybe I understand this in that if there is any type of ball short of the end zone, which there shouldn't be. There should be no reason for this, like you said, in the field of play. You can't spike it. You'd have to run the field goal unit out there. So perhaps that's the thought. Machida will come in under center. Machida rolls, finds Vespi. Vespi dives for the end zone, reaches for the pylon, and they're going to mark him down at the 2.
Wow.
You're going to have to take another close look at this one. LaSalle thought it was a touchdown.
Great effort by Vespi here. You see him taking that angle, driving the shoulder low, diving, trying to reach.
I thought he had that foot inbounds as he reached that ball to the pylon. Looked like a touchdown from up here.
And
so
look at this.
They're going to keep him out on the field. Why not?
I love it. Riverboat Rob loves it.
As long as they had a play ready for this, and it looks like they do. Although Tim Melman looks to be a little bit confused in the backfield. Watch the keeper here, and it's going to be a delay of game. So LaSalle maybe wasn't quite ready after all, and now I think Gandolfo's going to have to come out onto the field.
One of those rare high school football stadiums where you got the clock to look at for the play clock.
No harm, no foul there. I mean, if you're not ready to snap it, you shouldn't snap it. You should take the delay, go back 5 yards, and kick a 24-yarder, which they've done. Now it's Gandolfo, set to tack on 3 if he can put this one through the uprights. Gandolfo drives it through well. A field goal for the Explorers, and they lead 31-7 over Roman Catholic with just 17 seconds left here in the first half.
And another successful drive for the Explorers ends in points. Obviously would have liked to see them punch it into the end zone there, but good job, managing the ball, managing the clock. They had, I think, just over 3 minutes when they got it on that drive and able to get, a good portion of the field covered and leave barely enough time to do much. You don't want to say nothing because, one play, anything can happen in 17 seconds, but putting the Cahillites in a precarious situation with no timeouts and having to take this kickoff.
It would be quite difficult here, and I think you might see some sort of squib kick to keep it out of the hands of Malachi Harris. He can be a special team's worst nightmare.
Oh.
And a little bit of a pooch. Fumbled at the 20 and now up the field. Comes number 45, a decent little return, but that took 7 seconds off the clock. Number 45, Jerome Pest, out to the 33-yard line.
We're going to see a high school prevent defense.
Your best look at it, that's for sure.
See what Roman can draw up here. Essentially one shot, maybe two shots, if it's an incomplete pass. Or if they just run it and call it a half.
Yeah, I think they're just going to kneel this football in that type of formation. Wow, fumble, and he was able to get it back. Sam Graham takes him down. That'll end the half, but man, that could have been worse for Roman Catholic. Just trying to end the half there, and a botched snap nearly resulted in one more look for LaSalle. After 2 quarters, it's LaSalle 31, Roman Catholic 7. And LaSalle College High School football is live, as it always is, here on Bob Long Sports. Bob Long, Rob Stott. We missed Tyler Kern here today, but if fortunate enough to see a District 12 semifinal next weekend against St. Joseph's Prep, we hope to have him back in the booth. Kevin Long is with us here on camera, doing a great job. What do you think, Rob? Break down first half down for me.
It was a solid one. The offense got off to a slow start. Getting the ball first and Roman Catholic stopping them, forcing the punt. And, since then, though, it's been really all LaSalle. I mean, ever since that first Roman Catholic offensive drive, the first offensive snap, it was a fumble recovery scooped up for a touchdown, and it's been all Explorers since then. I mean, Machida and the offense are clicking. Brad Vespi has been a key for this offense all afternoon, getting the ball, either out of the backfield, thrown to him by Machida, really doing it all. And then the defense, I mean, we saw it last week. You know who the guys are that you want to stop for Roman Catholic. It's Malachi Harris, it's Shamar Ellis and C.J. Mole, and they've been doing a good job, kind of that bend, don't break, but really, they haven't bent much. It's only a 7 points on the scoreboard for Roman Catholic, and it's been really all Explorers. So it's been a strong outing for them today. A nice sort of carryover from last week and what they were able to do against the K-Lights then, and just keeping that momentum going. Look to see some of that in the second half, see what else they can work into this offense, maybe see a little more Gavin Daly. But it's overall everything you could want and more for the Explorers during the first half.
Scores from around the world of college football will come up in our halftime show. An odd week of college football as 4 out of the top 5 teams in the country have byes, and Clemson plays Wofford. So I think we'll have a pretty good look at how the college football playoff rankings will come out next week. We'll talk a little bit about that and a lot more at halftime. You're watching LaSalle College High School football here on Bob Long Sports. Your halftime score, LaSalle 31, Roman Catholic 7. Thanks, everybody, for being with us.
Your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfort Avenue.
Generation after generation. Our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dunphy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfort Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dunphyford.com.
Come experience the Dunphy difference. You'll be glad you did.
I chose CCM because I have found that this company, on the level of scaling that we have here, the volume that we are doing, to truly have every department head and employee fully engaged in the mission of the company to make it an originator-focused, production-first company. I have not found that anywhere I've worked, and I've worked one of the largest banks in the world, down to the smallest tiny community bank and correspondent lender. No one has been able to consistently deliver that message.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome into the Nittany Lion Sports Report. Good evening, everybody. Welcome into the Nittany Lion Sports Report live on Bob Long Sports. Today we're going to talk about the offensive line and our man of the hour, the chef, the man himself, Des Holmes and Mike Miranda, your disruptors on the Penn State offensive line.
This year, you're going to see all 4 guys run. They all bring a different style.
The quarterback is going to read the defensive end's eyes and make a determination. Am I going to keep this football, or am I going to hand it off to the running back? And that is generally the point of the RPO. Look who we have. We have Chris Perangeli, our guest picker for the evening.
What does your character look like? Does it bounce back after each setback? Does it stand out by standing up? Does it make good on good intentions? Character is invisible until it's not. Only through action will the world know what it's made of, what you're made of. Find out how you can strengthen the character of your community alongside empowered veterans and families of the fallen at travismanion.org.
Welcome back, everybody, inside our broadcast booth. Bob Long, Rob Stott here for the halftime show on Bob Long Sports. So, Rob, a strong start here for LaSalle, without a doubt. 31-7, a game that mimics the final score essentially of last week's game, 30-6. But I think you'd say, hey, this is a more complete effort thus far from this Explorers team.
Yeah, absolutely. They've kind of done it all. We talked about the only real mark against them in that first half was the first offensive drive where they had to punt the ball. Since then, it's been the defense doing its job, creating that turnover, scoring a touchdown on their first, stand on the field. And then the offense, Jack Machida leading the way. Brad Vespi, getting the ball, maybe not in the end zone yet for Vespi. He had a couple opportunities getting down close to the goal line, but doing it all, putting a lot of yards on the field, on the stat sheet for himself, and then the Explorers able to find the pay dirt, as you were, and putting together quite the first half.
They have, absolutely, and a lot of other football going on throughout the country here today. A big one, it's Big Noon on Fox. No free ads. But Michigan leads Maryland 38-7, and that's a Michigan team, Rob, that from halftime of that Penn State game on has been playing excellent football and is playing like one of the better teams in the country, hammering Notre Dame last weekend. beating up on Maryland. And I think they're going to have some momentum, believe it or not, going into a late November tilt against Ohio State. And boy, could that have implications for the rest of college football, depending upon the outcome of Penn State versus Ohio State the very prior week.
Right. There's a lot of ways things can go there. I mean, Penn State beats Ohio State, and then Ohio State beats Michigan. Like, what does that do for? The college football playoff is going to be a lot of fun to watch, specifically, I think, out of the Big Ten. And kind of
the good news in that situation is that Penn State would go to Indy for the Big Ten championship game. So that would be good. That would be fine.
For sure. And then, just a lot of great football at the top of that conference right now, and seeing which way it shakes out. And there's always controversy with the college football playoff. I know, watching Game Day today, again, no free ads for College Game Day there, but saying that non-conference schedules and kind of how those were set up this year could really play heavily into maybe heavier than it has in recent years in terms of who gets in at the end of the day. But a lot of fun to watch, and Saturdays are always good for watching some good college football.
Yes, it is. Another nice game I'm looking forward to here today is Notre Dame hosting Virginia Tech. That one just underway. Unfortunately for Notre Dame, out of the college football playoff picture for right now, and for the rest of the year, actually.
Yep.
And but I think Virginia Tech, a team that's really struggling, they are trying to get some footing in a not so good ACC this year. It's a statement game for them if they can do something against the Fighting Irish. The big one here today is Florida, Georgia. The band named after this rivalry. How about that?
Say a little Florida Georgia lines.
No doubt about it. That should be a good one, though. Georgia's about a 6.5-point favorite. Florida's had an amazing year. This, in many ways, should decide the SEC East, and who has the privilege of playing the winner of LSU and Alabama in the SEC championship game in Atlanta on the first weekend of December.
And essentially becoming a play-in at that point,
I
right?
would think so.
SEC,
losers out.
Yeah, essentially, SEC, I think, has had 2 teams into the college football playoff a couple times now, and
yeah.
That.
Or I don't know if it was the college football playoff, but they have had 2 teams in the BCS championship game a few years before they moved to the playoffs. So they've had the top 2 teams.
Always felt like there was going to be multiple SEC teams in a situation there where they could get in, but that's always a conference that's fun to watch, no matter. What teams are there. Well, always the same. It feels like the same teams are always there at the end of the day. But
yes,
Georgia, a guy. The fun thing about Georgia, I think, for us specifically watching him, and just to bring it back to the high school game, is that they got DeAndre Swift, a guy we got to watch for a little while, and
saw him scored 7 touchdowns on this field against LaSalle a few years ago.
So just a man that is really developed into quite the running back. You knew he would. The way we watched him and what he was able to do here at St. Joe's Prep, but. Watching him kind of develop as the lead back there down in Georgia and compete against some of the top programs in the country is always fun. Having that connection back to the local area. So, certainly a lot riding on the game for those 2 teams, but fun for the rest of us.
Should be fun, without a doubt. And this will be a week where we get the first college football playoff rankings. I expect the top 5 to be in this order: LSU, Alabama, and Ohio State 1, 2, 3. You can kind of mix them in any order you like. I suppose there's a possibility that Clemson moves their way into that discussion because of what they did last year. But if you're going by I guess there's the eye test as well. Right. But if you're going by the true definition of, hey, who has the best resume, and throw other years out, I don't know that you would say that Clemson's body of work and the way they've handled that competition.
South Carolina in there.
Nearly lost to North Carolina.
North Carolina.
But they did win the game.
Yep.
A 2-point conversion would have given North Carolina the win. To put them number 1 or number 2 or even number 3 over those 2 teams would be difficult right now. I would anticipate Clemson being number 4 and Penn State being that kind of last undefeated team at that high level. Baylor still going to be in there at undefeated as well, but they're not really in the mix. Minnesota will probably be around 10 or maybe a little bit higher than that, higher meaning 12, 13, etc. But really those top 5 are the teams that are right in the mix right now. They win out, all of them, they're in.
Rhetorical maybe to you, but, I mean, how's it shake out with Penn State at the end of the day? Because I feel like they've always been on that cusp last couple of years of making the playoff and then, getting I don't want to say screwed, out of the college playoff, but
you want to know what I think's going to happen?
What do you think's going to happen? How's it shake out at the end of the day?
Here's how I think it shakes out. I think Penn State very likely could lose a tough game at Ohio State. That's a team that's been the most explosive team in college football, bar none. You're going to their venue
Columbus.
with everything on the line. I could see them losing that game one way or the other.
Does that doom their season?
Well, let's say it's an 11-1 Penn State team. The issue that arises is, let's say Clemson wins out. Let's say Ohio State then, if they were to win that game, wins out. So those two teams are in. Let's say the winner of Alabama and LSU wins out. That team's definitely
including
in.
The
so who
SEC
would you
title
take?
Game.
Including the SEC title game. Would you take the loser of LSU-Alabama at 1 loss for that 4th spot? Would you take Penn State, the loser of that Ohio State game at 11-1 for that 4th spot? Would you forgive the loss from Oklahoma to Kansas State and put them in as a conference champion? Would you value Oregon and their first loss of the season to Auburn, and then if they were to win out, win every Pac-12 game and win their conference championship, would you give them the spot? So the issue, I think, and obviously there are so many dominoes that can fall, but is that, for one, I think the loser of Alabama and LSU would be a better 11-1 team resume-wise than a Penn State, for example, and that I don't know how this committee is going to value conference championships. So that's how I kind of feel about it. The best chance for Penn State, I think, with a loss against Ohio State, is for LSU to beat Alabama, and then Alabama still has to play Auburn in the Iron Bowl in the last week of the season. So that could be a way to get Alabama to 2 losses, although that would make Oregon's win against Auburn look even better. So maybe Oregon would have to find a way to lose a game. They'll have to play Utah most likely in the Pac-12 championship game. So there's a lot of different dominoes that could fall, but I think Penn State's best shot is for Alabama to lose next weekend to LSU and then Auburn to take care of Alabama in the Iron Bowl. That would take Alabama out of the mix. You just kind of relegate the SEC now to one team and one team only, and then you just kind of let the chips fall where they may. You hope that the loss to Kansas State is as bad as it looks right now and that Oklahoma doesn't have a shot to get in. And you try to be that 4th team that way. I mean, the best way to do it is beat Ohio State, go undefeated, and win the Big Ten championship game. But that, and we'll talk about this a lot more on the Nittany Lion Sports Report, which is Tuesday nights, 7:30 on Bob Long Sports, Twitter, and Facebook. But that is kind of, in a nutshell, my thoughts.
Or you could just up the playoffs a couple teams, add a couple teams to that mix. You
Yeah.
know? Do you will that ever happen?
Yeah, you think they could do that before the end of 2019? Why not?
Why not?
Do I think it will ever get there? Sure. Do I think it's imminent, like next 5 years? Not so much.
So maybe not necessarily March Madness-esque in any point in the near future, but
I don't think you can really do that. You just can't, because football you don't play every 2 days.
No. Nope.
So any number of teams you get above like 12 or 16, that would stretch out way too far.
I feel like it could, conceivably get to like a, it's not Super Bowl considering AFC, NFC, but like you get to that NFC level. Maybe you add kind of like a wild card weekend in some way, add 2 extra teams in there. Maybe, I don't know. I could see it getting to 8 teams max.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want football in any sort of playoff format to go more than 8 teams.
Sure. Yeah.
But
we shall see. But for this one, Penn State has their work cut out for them, and it starts with next weekend against Minnesota, an undefeated Minnesota team on the road. Again, big noon on Fox. That's where that game will be played. And
send the checks.
Yeah. But I think that helps more than a night game anyway. It could get cold. It could get windy up there. I think you want Sean Clifford throwing the football, and I think you're going to have a more effective passing game for Penn State than Minnesota's going to have against a defense that isn't quite as good as the Penn State defense as well. I think they should win the game, but you can't take it for granted. Minnesota's very good. PJ Fleck's done a great job. And if you want to take a look at some interesting things here, guys, take a look at PJ Fleck and this Minnesota team. Look at their first 4 games of the season and their last 4 games of the season. It'll show you unbelievably how they've turned things around. And we'll leave you with that. So it's halftime here. We'll take you back to the field after these messages. And this is the LaSalle College High School Football District 12 quarterfinals here on Bob Long Sports. And we'll be right back.
Dunphy Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfurt Avenue.
Generation after generation, our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dunphy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dunphyford.com.
Come experience the Dunphy difference. You'll be glad you did.
I chose CCM because I have found that this company, on the level of scaling that we have here, the volume that we are doing, to truly have every department head and employee fully engaged in the mission of the company to make it an originator-focused, production-first company. I have not found that anywhere I've worked, and I've worked at one of the largest banks in the world, down to the smallest tiny community bank and correspondent lender. No one has been able to consistently deliver that message.
Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter action here from Plymouth White Marsh High School in the District 12 quarterfinal is live here on Bob Long Sports. Bob Long, Rob Stott, Kevin Long on camera. We're underway again. Roman Catholic gets the ball first, and an offside looks like. A flag coming in right at the 40-yard line. So this will go against LaSalle. They blow it dead. That's another high school rule where they blow that offside dead on the kickoff.
Safety, I guess. You don't want to give them that half-foot head start down the field.
Just kind of reduce contact, yeah.
It's also one I feel
well,
like.
I mean,
I was going to say, it's not like one of those ones where, they say there's holding on every play. I feel like with those running starts, you're bound to find someone that's at least an inch off sides every kickoff, but they decide to call it on that one.
Now we're underway here in the third quarter. A long kick for Mole. Picks it up at the 5, and here we go. Ooh, hit hard out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Dylan Trainer in there. Jalen Hanton as well.
Felt very similar to that last time Mole got tackled. A Mole sandwich getting crushed between two Explorers defenders, and this time maybe not, just receiving a pass, but running upfield and ouch.
Tell you what, you're 5'7", 150 pounds. Maybe you run that one out of bounds. Just a consideration.
Got a Cahillite down.
Rob, it's been a great year so far. Certainly not to wax poetic this time. LaSalle has a ways to go here in this game, and certainly hope to have the opportunity to call next week's game if LaSalle qualifies, which would most likely be against St. Joseph's Prep. But this has been a big step forward in what I already thought was good progress for what we've been doing for the preceding 4 years. And here we are, and appreciate LaSalle for all their support of us this year. And we've been allowed to do a lot of really fun things this year, from a perspective of the new equipment and the replay and kind of the creative freedom to go about this the way we like. And of course, we have a responsibility there as well to represent the school well, and I think we've done our very best to try to do that. And I just want to say, Rob, thank you. And Tyler, if you're watching today, thank you as well. Alex Krastowski, Mara Long, who have both done great camera work this year. Kevin Long, who's with us here today. It's just been a fun team effort, so thank you, Rob.
Yeah, it's been fun. Thank you for, the chance and invite to keep doing this and coming out here on a weekly basis, enjoying the elements of high school football, the weather situations that we, have battled over the years.
We have battled. This is not a battle today.
No,
this is beautiful.
This is absolutely gorgeous. There is not a cloud in the sky, and I think only that might be like a puff of smoke coming out of a smokestack off in the distance, because that doesn't look like. It kind of looks like a cloud, but it's got something underneath. I don't know.
That might be Limerick over there, Rob.
Yeah, but we're, it's gorgeous. It is gorgeous today. Oh, there's clouds behind us. Shucks.
Those are the wrong clouds.
I turned around. No, but it's been fun. We enjoy bringing this, into people's homes every week and getting to do it alongside you, and it's a joy.
Shamar Ellis had a great first half, trudges forward for 3 yards. Timothy Barrett, Sam Graham in there on the stop.
It's a nice job by the defensive line, collapsing, not, giving Ellis any room to run. A nice short gain, holding him to a nice short gain there on first down.
11:26 to play, third quarter. Not a good snap, so Robinson's going to have to take off with it, and he's taken down.
Back to almost the original line of scrimmage. Those snaps have been an issue all day. We saw it on Roman Catholic's first snap of the day, but it's been a theme that we really haven't touched on throughout, because of, the fact that Robinson's been able to haul most of them in. But, it's that exchange between center and quarterback has really broken up and disrupted the rhythm of some of these plays before they even get started.
Rob, after this third down play, I'm going to ask you to take to Twitter and execute one of our favorite games, which is Where Ya At? Where are you watching us from? We'll throw it out there on Twitter as well, at Bob Long Sports, as Robinson makes one tackler miss, chased down from behind by Ryan Savage, and it will be fourth down. So now decision time for Roman Catholic, trailing by 24. Here's another look at this one. Savage couldn't get there the first time, but a good job by Sam Graham in there. Isaiah Turner forces him back, and there's Savage come up from behind. But yes, where are you watching us from? Let us know. Tweet at us, at Bob Long Sports, and we'll give you a shout out here on the air. Follow us at Bob Long Sports on Twitter, at Bob Long Sports on Facebook, and of course our YouTube page at the address at which you're watching this right now. You can just subscribe to that and be notified every time we go live with a LaSalle College High School sporting event. Not a good punt there. And Griffin Zobel is going to back away. Down at the 45-yard line, great starting field position here for the LaSalle Explorers as they begin their offensive jaunt here in the third quarter, leading 31-7. Soon to come, LaSalle College High School basketball. Can you believe it? The semifinalists of the state championship run last year back on the court, led by Mike McKee. And excited for that season. We'll have broadcasts of that this year on Bob Long Sports as well. Stay tuned. First down and 10. The give is to Brad Vespi. Good run there, spinning through a tackler, a gain of 12 yards, and a first down.
Nice job by Vespi. Little misdirection play, taking the snap going right. See this blocker setting up in front of him to the left. And finds his hole, hits it hard, and able to pick up the first down. Speaking of Vespi and speaking of Bob Long Sports, hopefully as well this year, Mr. Vespi, part of the wrestling team that I will be helping to coach at LaSalle. Look forward to getting into the room with him, but hopefully a Bob Long Sports broadcast from the LaSalle Gymnasium for a wrestling match.
I look forward to that opportunity. That would be great. Jack Machida fires for Rob Tatum. Brings it in on the crossing routes. Boy, you got to have strong hands on that one. Nearly intercepted, but zipped in there by the quarterback Machida and corralled by Tatum.
You do. What a job by Machida. You see him waiting for Tatum to get into that window, and that window was small, but Machida slung it in there. And a nice job by Tatum to use strong hands to haul that one in, basically rip it out of the defender's hands and come up with it and pick up another first down.
Well, we had a late flag come in, and this is going to go against LaSalle. Everybody walking backwards. They'll mark it off from the original line of scrimmage, which was the 43.
A 5-yard varietal. Didn't see the call. False start, illegal shift.
Could have been a legal shift. False start, they would have blown dead. How about Justin Machida over here? Single safety look, and he's outside. Let's see if they take a shot. Instead, it's Vespi. Another misdirection, and he's got 5, pushing for more. Call it a 7-yard gain from Brad Vespi, slithering through. You can barely see him here.
That's to his advantage. That's the way he wants it.
There he is. Where is he? Can't see him.
driving that pile forward.
Where is he? I don't know. Brad Vespi. You know that reference? No?
Oh, I feel bad that I don't. Throw it at me. What is it?
I'm going to have to think about what it is, but it's, where is he? I don't know. Something Fisher. So, it's from a movie.
Bobby Fischer.
Promise.
Or could it be
Brad Vespi again off tackle, called a gain of 3. Maybe somebody on the Where You At can let us know.
SNL Bobby Fischer, the chess player?
Maybe that's what it was.
Nice job by Vespi again, getting the opportunity, being the lead dog today for this Explorers offense and doing them proud.
3rd down and 5 yards to go. Clock ticks under 7 minutes and 40 seconds in the 3rd. Jack Machida throws it and finds Justin Machida. Boy, oh boy, a chance taken there by Jack Machida, but man, did he earn it.
Just the way they drew it up, right?
I suppose so.
Jack under an immense amount of pressure, getting dragged down and just fitting the ball in there to younger brother Justin and picking up the first down. That'll make Uncle Mike happy. Uncle Mike's watching us from Summers Point, New Jersey.
Welcome, Mike. Thank you. Thank you for tweeting at us. Playing Where You At. Thanks for being with us as always.
And, of course, Nancy Diani checking in from Clarkston, Michigan.
We appreciate that, Nancy. Thank you. Brad Vespi has trouble handling that when there is a flag down on the field. He's going to go down for a loss of 1. In the area of illegal shift or encroachment. And it is the illegal shift variety. That flag came out as soon as the ball was snapped, and that kind of limits the options on what the call can be.
Justin kind of throwing his palms to the air like, what? What did I do? So assuming probably on him.
So Roman Catholic accepts the penalty. Now, I'll just say this. That's interesting, and there's got to be an asymptote there at yardage line at which you would not accept it, and you would take the loss of whatever it is, of a lesser yardage, and have them play second down versus replay first. I mean, that was a loss of 1, maybe 2. That's something, if I was Roman, I might have considered declining. But here's LaSalle on 1st and 15. They'll throw it back for Matt Bose. And that is going to come back. A flag comes in now, a second. Both of them are going to be flags against LaSalle. Ryan Wills, he's not happy, but we'll get one more look at this one here. It's going to be the play from Ryan Wills.
Yeah, the block in the back. He's kind of running by him, trying to block him as he's running by him, and he just gets shoved down. Unfortunate, but it is the right call.
By the way, Ryan Wills, speaking of which, he, Abdul Carter, and Sam Brown were all up at the Whiteout a few weekends ago and all seemed to have a great time. I think the Nittany Lion program could be only so lucky to have the 3 of those gentlemen come up there and join a future recruiting class. I certainly hope that James Franklin is watching this right now on his, well, maybe not that instant for Ryan, but watching LaSalle here on his off week. And is seeing a lot of good stuff from these 3 players. They are unbelievable sophomores.
Ooh.
Trickeration here. Gavin Daly, he'll fire it long. Justin Machida nearly brought it in.
Wow. The indecision there from Daly, I think maybe.
Looked like he was going to tuck it.
Yeah,
Here he
is. Thought he was going to run it, wanted to pass it, thought he was going to run it, and then decided to pass it and let Justin get downfield, but maybe standing there alone a little too long, giving the defenders time to get over there and break that one up. But nice little trickeration, you know, on 1st and nearly 30, maybe 1st and 25, you got to do something. And all that moving around, you also get an illegal man downfield call, but that's going to be declined by Roman. Figure out 1st and 25 is enough already.
There you go. That's when you decline it. 6 minutes, 9 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. LaSalle with a 31-7 lead. This is how we begun the second half. It's been a long, sustained drive here for LaSalle. They got all the way down inside the 30, now back at the 42.
Ooh.
Rob Tatum goes through his hands. It'll be 3rd down and 24 yards.
And that was just a situation of Machida putting the ball out to Tatum. Tatum kind of doing that little curl back to run upfield and get a little momentum, maybe curled back a little too far, and just missed the mark with Machida. But I like the idea. Get the ball out in space, give it to your quick guys, give him a chance to make a man miss, and I mean, there was a lot of green in front of him if he was able to haul it in.
Playbook is still wide open, but they got to get this snap off quickly. Play clock is under 10. Now at 5. Machida gets the snap off. Rolls to the outside. Brad Vespi slices up the middle and inside the 35 to the 32. It'll be 4th down and about 12, and I think you have to leave him out there.
You do. I was putting my finger to the air to check the wind, maybe get a little help for...
Let's see if they can kick a 49-yard field goal.
Why not?
There was a strong wind at his back.
But I think it's going right to left, so no help there from the wind. But might as well. I mean, you're up, 31-7 right now. 4th and 13. A punt's not going to do you anything. You're certainly out of field goal range with the wind being the way it is. So, take the shot.
Timeout on the field, and it's brought to you by our friends over at Salle and Ambler, a great place to watch the LaSalle football or basketball game, or certainly if you find yourself here, and we recommend that you do, but go there after. Enjoy yourself a nice bit of food, some drinks, and great times with friends. There's also a big 80-inch television screen and features us at this very moment. So if you're out there listening, hi. Thanks for being with us. Bob Long, Rob Stott, Kevin Long here on camera. But Casey's Alley is right next to the train station in Ambler. Ambler is a great town. There are so many places you can go, and you can make multiple stops over the course of the day, as long as Casey's Alley is one. And it's a great place to go with some friends. Any night of the week, they have great specials, and they are a proud partner of ours, and we're proud to be associated with them. Their support of us and LaSalle College High School athletics has been tremendous.
Do we look good in high definition at the halftime?
Tough to say, man. Tough to say. Machida. Brad Vespi can't bring it in. Turnover on downs. That was 4th and 14, and Roman Catholic will come out onto the field. But all things considered, Rob, a pretty effective drive for LaSalle. They took about 4 minutes off the clock, and up 24, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, and that play, if that ball is just a little bit further out in front of Vespi, he was coming across the field. The rest of the offense was to the right of the field, so he had a lot of green in front of him. Probably had a good shot at it, but just unfortunate.
The wind is really now starting to kick up, Rob, about as strong as we've felt it all day long. That may or may not be coming through the microphones a little bit. Daquan Robinson has had limited success here today, but they did punch one in late in the first half. And there's a fumble. Malachi Harris can't pick it up, but Sam Graham does. Another turnover, and the big man, Sam Graham, gets his hands on it, and LaSalle has the football in great field position.
This time it wasn't the snap that was bad, it was the exchange between quarterback and running back, and fortunate for the Explorers that Harris was not able to scoop it up. He tried, but unsuccessfully, and there's Sam Graham there to pick up the pieces and give the ball right back to the Explorers offense.
And that has to be the storyline of the game thus far, right, Rob? Roman Catholic has shot themselves in the foot multiple times here today with costly turnovers at bad positions on the field. They've actually had some success offensively, but too many of those. And here is Liam Kennedy inside the 10-yard line. And will be hit back inside the 10. A first down for LaSalle. 14 on the carry that time. The jet sweep to Liam Kennedy.
Missed there, but one of those nice little touch passes from Machida to Kennedy, and Kennedy, a nice job, running that ball outside. Maybe should have kept going a little bit, but got back to right where he just about stopped anyway.
Yeah, thanks to Devon Hudson from Roman Catholic, hitting him forward 2 yards.
Dangerous proposition to cut the ball back across the field that way, but Kennedy lives to fight another day.
Machida in the shotgun. DeLuca, the center. Snaps it. They fake the give, and now it is Brad Vespi up the middle, diving for the end zone. And once again, Vespi
just short.
Called an 8-yard gain, and he gets right to the goal line.
To the 1. That's about Vespi's good from his opposite goal line to the 1 today, but just unable to punch it in on that play. But nice effort by him reaching out for it.
Brad Vespi, fantasy owners can't believe it. They just can't believe it, Rob.
Just give him one. Oh, but it's
Jalen DeVos in the end zone. Touchdown, LaSalle.
So that insult to injury, Vespi again for the third time has to stand and watch his fullback at the ball to complete the drive. It's a nice job by DeVos, taking Melman's spot there at the fullback position. Offensive line getting the momentum going forward and giving their fullback space to punch it in.
Yeah, special mention to Kenny O'Kane and Jake DeLuca, the right guard and the center respectively, got downhill brilliantly there, and there was never any chance that DeVos was going to end up anywhere but the end zone. Gandolfo's kick is up and good, and LaSalle now leads 38-7. 4:12 left on the clock here in the third quarter.
And a nice start to the second half for the Explorers. I mean, keeping, again, Roman out of the end zone, getting the ball a long, sustained drive, having to turn it over on downs, but getting it back one play later and essentially completing that drive. So apologies for the little blip there, the fourth down that didn't convert, but we got the ball right back and we're still able to punch it in. Everyone, it's all clicking for the Explorers today.
Including the band. Is that Rock You Like a Hurricane? You're dang right it is. Here I am. Rock you like a hurricane. Love it.
Pretty
Absolutely
sure I
love
heard a little Ozzy Osbourne earlier, too. A little Crazy Train.
Big time.
It's the playoffs. Everyone's in.
Listen, that's the right type of music, too. You see a lot of college bands go with some of the newer stuff. Respect the classics. And that they do. That one is driven. C.J. Mole.
Uh-oh.
That one's going to go out of bounds.
Wow.
Boy, I tell you, some turnovers and some special teams miscues here today for Roman Catholic.
And, this situation in particular, being pinned deep in your own side of the field, given the way the exchange between center and quarterback has gone, you got to look out for that right here. It needs to be clean. You have little room for error in this position on the field.
4:09 left in the third quarter. Penn State. LaSalle.
Where's your mind?
Yeah. Next week. LaSalle against St. Joseph's Prep. If St. Joseph's Prep can pull it off here today.
Wouldn't that be something?
Wouldn't that be something? And Roman Catholic forced to burn a timeout. Just not going their way here today. We've seen this team play some tremendous football this year. They are 5-5, but they've had a very difficult schedule. And for me, the pinnacle for them has to be that 20-6 win against Archbishop Wood. And I think that caused everybody to turn back and say, hold on, Roman Catholic. And it just, unfortunately, Jaden Pope, that injury is huge. He was an unbelievable quarterback this year. It's just not the same team without him. Robinson's done a nice job transitioning from wide receiver to quarterback, but very similar to LaSalle last year. Similar type of record. LaSalle ended up 5-6, and Sean Daly did an incredible job at quarterback coming out of the wide receiver spot. Not something he had really taken reps on, and he came out and threw the ball very effectively, but then there's a gaping hole at wide receiver, and it's just kind of a snowball effect, and I think Roman Catholic is experiencing that here today.
Yeah, and they've shown flashes. I mean, they've shown flashes of some of what they can do on offense, even without Pope back there under center, but just unable to pull all the pieces together here.
First down and 10. Ellis hit once but not taken down. Now he runs through Meacham. And a nice run there, a gain of 7.
And a nice play design, bringing Robinson up under center to avoid any of those silly exchanges and miscues there. But just turn around and give the ball to the guy who's been able to drive the ball downfield all day, essentially, for the Cahillites in Ellis. Give him some breathing room back there. Oh.
And a hard count draws 2 Explorers offside.
Oh, wah, wah.
First down for Roman Catholic. They'll get it across the 20.
Saw Carter there come up to the line and kind of do that tippy toe, like I'm not over the line.
That's right.
I didn't do it. No. I'm right here.
Robinson fires it deep.
Oh.
Boy, there was a lot of hand fighting on both sides. The flag will come out. Hanton's not going to like the call. We'll get one more look at this one.
Their paths were right towards each other, and they're not even just going to call a hold. They're going to call a pass interference.
That's all it could be. I don't know if it would have been a hold.
Yep. Yeah, ball was in the air. But, man.
I mean, listen, there's so much contact on both sides there.
It's not like he drug him down, you know. Just 2 guys coming at the point of where the ball was coming at them. Coming together right where the ball was going to hit them.
And LaSalle, I think he anticipated that to be a spot foul. Now they come way up to the 35-yard line. First down and 10 for Roman. Ellis goes off tackle, keeps moving the legs forward, and he's still going forward. Boy, those whistles came a little bit early, and Ellis popped out the backside.
Oh, man.
One more look at this here. You're going to see him kind of spinning into your screen. There's the 4 showing. He's still backing up. The whistle comes here. And then he starts going forward, and there he comes out.
Well, maybe the whistle. They stop holding them. Stop trying to bring them down.
Yeah, perhaps.
But, no, I see you there.
I just didn't see the forward progress stop before the whistle was blown.
He was moving.
Robinson looking to take another shot, but nobody open. Evades the first, not the second. Dylan Traynor in there on the sack.
If not for the pursuit of the Explorers offense, I mean, Robinson has gotten out of some really precarious situations when the pressure's around him.
And that's just a 3-man rush, and they were all there.
Unreal to get away from that, but it's a nice job by the Explorers to stay after it and bring him down.
And again, the reason for that 3-man rush, right, is also probably the reason that Robinson didn't have a good look downfield. Great job by the Explorers in coverage. Under 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. LaSalle a 38-7 lead over Roman Catholic. Ooh. Robinson fires over the middle. Good catch. Looking for the first down. He gets right to the line. He needed to get to the 50. They're walking in at the 50. And it looks like they're going to have a first down. Saran Cummings, the big man at 6'2", 210.
Wow, right to the line, and just a nice job by Robinson finding his man in Cummings and picking up the first down. I mean, a nice pitch and catch, just something we haven't seen a lot of from them today, and they executed nicely there.
This has already been a pretty good drive here from Roman Catholic. They've picked up about 35 yards. Robinson once more. He'll use his legs, stays up for a period of time, and picks up 3. Tripped up in the backfield by Dylan Traynor.
Again, a situation, just nice coverage downfield. You see Robinson going through his reads, but finding nothing. So what do? We tuck it and run. And a nice shoelace tackle there.
That's Paul Jennings. My apologies. Wow. Traynor was in there as well, but it was Paul Jennings, number 47, who's had a great year. Yep. Got the long arms at defensive end, does a great job at that spot, and made a big tackle.
Just a gain of 3. Could have been a whole lot more.
Cummings in motion for Roman Catholic. Robinson stares downfield, looking for Harris. And incomplete, thrown a bit behind him. Hanton didn't look back, but didn't have his hands on him, so that's a good no call. And Hanton comes back excited. We'll get one more look.
Excited, looking for the flag that time, saying, what, are you going to throw it on me? No. Just you said it, Bob. A nice job in coverage. Doesn't turn around, but is doing a nice job of staying away from Harris just enough where the ball hits Hanton right in the back.
And that's so tough, too. A guy, a receiver like that, can kind of put his arms out there because Hanton doesn't have any perspective about him at that point.
Ooh.
As Dawkins nearly gets the sack. Jennings nearly does as well. Troy can't get there.
Man.
And taken down at the line of scrimmage. So a long way to go to get back to the line. He evaded nearly every defensive lineman for LaSalle.
I mean, maybe not necessarily the same rushing efficiency, but the way he's avoiding tackles, it feels like a Michael Vick or something back there in what we've seen out of Robinson today, just not going down and avoiding tacklers and able to keep the ball alive long enough to either try to find something or create something out of nothing or create a little bit of something that would have been horrendous for him just to be able to get back to the line of scrimmage there.
By the way, for what it's worth, and LaSalle may have declined it even if it came about, but a clear block in the back from Saron Cummings on Dylan Traynor that wasn't called there.
End of 3.
End of 3. We head to the 4th. They don't need to move those chains very far. They're just going to switch places as we're at about midfield here, getting ready to begin the 4th quarter. By the way, I'm not a chain guy, and in fact, I do a Nittany Lion sports report with Tyler Gelhaus, who is a chain guy. Is there really a front and back chain? And there probably is.
Not.
And, that's something you can watch football, be involved with football, break football down your entire life. But if you're not on the chain gang or you're not out there when they do a measurement, I don't know. Is there a front one and a back one? Does our cameraman know?
Not part of the chain fraternity?
Yeah, no. Not part of the chain fraternity either. Where are you at? Let us know if there's a front chain and a back chain. Thanks. This is what we utilize our great community for. We appreciate everybody watching here today and all year long. 4th and 5. They got the first down and more. Malachi Harris dips into coverage, turns around and finds the football. Good throw from Daquan Robinson.
It's a nice job by Harris. See the Explorers coming. Kind of sitting in a little bit of a zone. Harris settling right in front of his man and giving Robinson a nice big target. Hauling that one in and picking up the first down.
They got up to the line quickly. Now look to the sidelines. Not allowing LaSalle to make a defensive switch. 11:32 left in the 4th quarter. Throwing the screen. Nice catch there by C.J. Mole. Mole taken out of bounds after a gain of 8,
wow.
and that is going to be a late hit.
Man, they ended up all the way over on the track there, did they? Mole and didn't catch the Explorer number.
Yeah, that was Meacham, but I think the issue is actually the net, and I want to say
they tripped over it.
Yeah, he kind of tripped over it, and I think that's what it was. I don't think there was any malicious intent, but unfortunately.
It looks like they're picking it up anyway.
Okay.
So they.
Yeah, so our eyes did not deceive us. I got to tell you, I'm surprised you don't call it anyway, even if it's not necessarily malicious. But perhaps that's what it was. It was just a foot getting caught, and they saw it even better over there than we did up here.
Yeah, looked bad in live play, but, if you're going to get together and talk about a foul and picking it up, I mean, I guess they did a nice job of quickly investigating it there.
2nd down and 1 for Roman Catholic. Clock stopped at 11:22 to play in the 4th quarter. Ellis has the first down as he motors across the 25.
Every one of these snaps, I swear, they're all going up to Robinson's face, and he has to catch it up there.
Less than ideal.
Yeah.
But he's hanging in there. He's done a nice job here today. I mean, every snap? Yes, it started with snap number 1.
Yeah. It's been a fight.
Led to a Dylan Traynor defensive touchdown, and that was kind of how things continued on the rest of the day. He'll throw a lob. This has a lot of air. Can he find it? No, Malachi Harris just beyond his gallop to the end zone.
It was the closest you can get to a rainbow arching basketball shot here. Just putting so much air under it to try to give Harris enough time to get to it. But
we're pretty high up in the booth. This almost got up to us.
Falls harmlessly to the ground. The Long family standing next to their kin. They're checking in from OCMD, and they sent us a nice picture. They're fishing off of a dock.
Wow. Now, that's great. Do they know about the chains, though? Thank you very much for watching. We appreciate it. 2nd down and 10. Big hit there by Abdul Carter. Good catch, but certainly took his lick for it. Third down. 8 yards to go. 10-20 left in the game. Robinson rolls, fires, nearly intercepted. Malachi Harris got a hand on it. All that did was keep it in the air for a suspenseful period of time.
Just behind Harris, and Harris puts a hand on it. That's one, I guess I know why you make the effort to get it. You want to try to haul it in, but maybe better off, it does fall harmlessly to the ground, but save us the little heart palpitations of keeping that ball up in the air. Nearly got it picked.
4th down and 8. Rowan has to go for it. Robinson stays up. He's going to run for it. Trainer brings him down short of the line to gain.
Wow. Unbelievable effort in the backfield by Robinson to stay on his feet and get out, and then an unbelievable effort on the other end of that play by Dylan Trainer to pursue the athletic quarterback and bring him down and force the turnover on downs.
LaSalle's defense gets off the field again, and when they've needed the stops, they've gotten them all day long. 10:04 left in the football game. LaSalle leading 38-7, and Rob, I think if we looked at TOP, time of possession, I think it would be fairly even. Roman has had drives like that. That drive started from their 7-yard line.
And they certainly, the first quarter felt like they held on to it for almost the entire quarter.
Liam Kennedy on the jet sweep, cuts the distance to gain in half. We got Charles checking in from Conshohocken as well. Appreciate that. Thank you very much for watching. Again, where you at? Let us know. Tweet at us, at Bob Long Sports, and we'll give you a shout on the air. Second down and 5. Mayo Howell, haven't seen a lot of him. He's in the backfield, and he does get it. Up the middle he goes, holds onto the football, and then takes a big pop at the end. Gain of 7, a first down for Mayo Howell.
Working the rest of the pieces into this offense. You got Daly back in under center. Howell getting some looks. The Explorers, the latter part of the season, certainly riding their seasoned veterans, the seniors and Vespi and guys that have had the hot hand. But Howell, as we've seen, has been sort of that spark plug for this offense. He can go to the house from any point of the field.
Mayo Howell gets about 3 and pushed back. By the way, we got to give a big thank you here to Jeff Goodwin checking in on YouTube, saying no difference in the chains. So they did spin it around at from the 3rd to the 4th quarter, and I think the Roman Catholic Kaolites were on the 49-yard line. So I found that interesting because that would be my thought too. It might be not a mechanical issue or an equipment issue, but a personnel issue.
Like who has to be?
Who's the back guy and who's the front guy?
Listen, I've been the front chain all game. I can't just switch.
That's
now.
right.
Is that an ego thing?
I don't know, but they could just walk to the other side. Here's Gavin Daly coming back to the other side. He loses about 2, maybe 3. It'll be 3rd down and 8 coming up.
And Daly, we've seen kind of that indecision last drive for the Explorers where he wanted to throw it, didn't hold it, decided to hold on to it, and then decided to throw it again. But that time couldn't pick what hole he wanted to hit. And eventually had no hole to hit.
3rd down, 8 yards to go, 7:40 to play. And the most important thing is that ticking clock. Gavin Daly is under center. Mayo Howell, the tailback, and a timeout is called by LaSalle. This portion of today's game is brought to you by Carrie Garin Boyle and Jim McLaughlin of the Carrie Garin Boyle team at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Fox and Roach Realtors. Jim is LaSalle alumni. His father and 3 sons attended LaSalle. Carrie's family has been here for generations, and she currently has a sophomore in the class of 2022. Jim and Carrie have trusted their family to LaSalle, and you can trust that you will be treated like family when buying or selling your home with this real estate team. Call Jim at 267-242-5991 or Carrie at 267-626-6818 for any real estate questions. Licensed in PA and New Jersey. Back to action. 3rd down, 8 yards to go. Clock stopped at 7:27 to play in the 4th. Daly fires and finds Howell, cuts back inside and pulled down. Pretty good defensive play that time by number 25, Kareem Lewis. 4th down.
Howell that time just unable to spin away from that tackler. And nice job hauling the pass in. I like the cut, but unfortunate for him.
Yeah, give credit to Lewis on that one as well.
Yeah,
great play
hands,
from the K-Lights.
Strong hands and nice open field tackle on a speedy and elusive, offensive weapon for the Explorers.
John O'Donnell will punt this one for LaSalle.
Oy, side of the foot.
A high one, and does take a little bit of a LaSalle hop out to the 41-yard line. That's where Roman Catholic will come out offensively.
That one was the closest thing to a punt stopping dead in its path that I've ever seen. It bounced straight down, straight up, maybe rolled half a yard that way. But
as I said, a LaSalle hop.
Yeah.
Half yard.
Yeah. I've never seen a football just not go anywhere.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
All those angles, the odd shape, the oblong shape of the football.
Oblong. That's it.
The points that it could land on.
Yep. And that absolutely had hang time. That came straight down.
It did.
There's a handoff up the middle to Shamar Ellis. Jared Harrison, the senior, has checked in at quarterback for the first time here today. And so with that, I think we can almost say with certainty that LaSalle's going to win this football game, move on to the District 12 semifinals, and they will take on most likely St. Joseph's Prep next weekend, unless that game already took place, which it may have. Let's assume a St. Joseph's Prep versus LaSalle game next weekend, and that'll be 6 o'clock at Northeast High School. Great place to go watch a football game. Hope to see a lot of people there. And we're looking forward to broadcasting that one, Rob. That should be a great experience here as LaSalle is coming back after a tough loss, very similar to the regular season last year. They came back and had a lead going into the 4th quarter over St. Joseph's Prep. Are there more fireworks in store? As nearly an interception from Chris Thompson. He had his hands all over it. And that is one that his teammates are going to have fun with him with in film session next week.
Right into the palm of his hands. Just unable to haul it in. Just a nice job undercutting that route, getting right in the path of the throw, and not a nice job securing the ball for the interception.
But they get the stop that they needed. It's 4th down and 10.
LaSalle sends the receiving team, punt team out, but it looks like...
Yeah, I think it is going to be a punt for Roman Catholic. Ryan Flaherty out there.
Just huddled up.
And we get a stoppage as Flaherty booted what ended up being a pretty good one. But a false start, blows it dead, and they'll back up Roman Catholic another 5 yards. But we'll have the crew back with Tyler Kern next weekend. Excited for that.
I love going over there. I know, Northeast maybe has a football field wrap that it's not.
I love it.
It's a great field, But the post game, it's close to my favorite cheesesteak shop over there, right off of Northeast, right in the Northeast.
Steve's Prince of Steaks.
There it is.
Get my Steve Prince of Steaks and then head over to Ambler for Casey's Alley after the game. No doubt about that. Punt is covered at the 26-yard line. Gavin Daly comes back out onto the field.
Do you have a favorite cheesesteak shop?
I do.
Do you divulge?
I can divulge, sure. My favorite cheesesteak shop, pure cheesesteak shop, is D'Alessandro's in Manayunk, Roxborough area.
Right there on Henry Avenue.
And don't call me a traitor, D'Alessandro's fans, but I also think Chubby's across the street is pretty darn good. Pick your poison, and if you like fries, you got to go to Chubby's. Here's Mayo Howell. Howell taken out of bounds at the 42-yard line, and a good run from the freshman.
There's that speed we've seen. You know, Howell running up to the line, get kind of bottled up, but able to bounce it out to the outside and escape some tacklers, shed a man, gets a nice block on the outside too. Able to turn the ball upfield for a first down.
5:34 to play in the fourth quarter, and you would expect a steady dose of running the football. Jack Machida taken out of the game. A job well done from him today. One of his best games of the season and one of the most opportunity to throw the ball down the field this season. E.J. Wentz taken down for a loss of about 5. But a good game from Machida, no doubt. Brad Vespi had one of his best games as a LaSalle Explorer. And that's kind of how the game went offensively. Matt Bowes, a nice touchdown as well. But I think you look at Machida and Vespi as two of the reasons that LaSalle's offense was able to take flight here this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, they just gave the ball to their playmakers, and you know, obviously Machida has progressed throughout the year, and nice to see him have this type of performance, but it's an all-around great game for these Explorers.
Mayo Howell shoved out of bounds. They're going to keep that clock running, saying his forward progress was stopped in the field of play, even though he went out of bounds, so that helps LaSalle as that clock continues to run over under 4:20. You know, the other unsung heroes, and they always are, is the offensive line.
Yeah.
I mean, going right across the front. You know, O'Kane, certainly DeLuca did a great job snapping the football. Ryan Wills is one of the good ones. And really all 5 guys had a great effort, and this is a team that likes to run the football a lot. I thought their pass protection today was excellent as well. Gavin Daly on 3rd down, digging for the line to gain and gets past it. Dragging a defender inside the 45. A first down for LaSalle.
And right on cue, you'll see this offensive line do a nice job giving Daly an unbelievable seam here. And that was Wentz stepping up to make the block as well. You know, giving Daly the space to find a hole, hit the hole, and pick up a first down for the Explorers.
And there is that less classical and newer music party rock anthem. Well done by the band right below us to the left. It is party time as LaSalle's getting ready for the old Philadelphia Catholic League final, but no longer. The District 12 semifinal next weekend against St. Joseph's Prep at Northeast High School. 6 o'clock p.m.
So you're more of the chopped cheesesteak is what you're saying.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy Steve Sprint's, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, the slabs. I look at it, I divide it by, you know, the slabs versus the chopped, and D'Alessandro's is certainly my favorite chopped cheesesteak.
Okay, I gotcha. Yep, they're in different buckets, huh?
Fried onions or no fried onions?
I would say no fried onions, but I respect the fried onions. 2nd down and 5. Alan Paterzo into the game, up the middle. Spins off one tackle and leans forward for a gain of 2.
Oh, there's some action after that one. There's a fist thrown. It looked like a slap punch. I don't know what they're going to do here. That was number 25, Kareem Lewis.
Yeah, that is a punch. There is no way to sugarcoat that.
Oh, they're going to offset them, though.
Because of what?
Wow.
What was the other penalty? I'm sorry.
It was 2 personal foul calls.
Ah.
So they're going to offset it. And a clear punch, probably worthy of an ejection in high school football?
You would think so.
Yeah.
You know what my thought is on that, Rob?
There's
late. 2 minutes and 23 seconds left in the football game. Run the clock, and everybody just needs to stay cool. Let the cooler heads prevail.
Ooh.
Mayo Howell taken down, kind of tripped up by his own man.
Oh. Got Paterzo in there now, too, at quarterback.
Yes. Yep. He's the one that ran it up the middle the last time on that punch play.
Making me think it's Daly.
Fourth down. 3 yards to go. Not until a penalty is going to offset that. So this time they do mark it off. 15 yards. Personal foul against Roman Catholic.
Getting chippy.
2:10 left in this football game. A very impressive effort from LaSalle. Outscored Roman Catholic 31-7 in the first half. Pitched a shutout here in the second half. Scored 7 themselves. And a very convincing 38-7 win, even more so than I think their 30-6 win last weekend.
Yeah. I mean, they had it all clicking. You know, I go back to the seam plays. I mean, they look, the passes from Machida up the seam, you know, to his tight ends. I think he hit Vespi with one. When they're executed perfectly, I mean, they are one of the most beautiful plays in football to watch.
E.J. Wentz up the middle, gains about 5. You know, the other thing that I think everybody's going to have their eyes on this week is Sam Brown, who has not played in 2 games in 2 quarters. He didn't have a ton of touches against St. Joseph's Prep. That's a game that got out of hand, I think, certainly earlier than any LaSalle fan would have liked. Kind of held him out in that game. Is he going to get a shot against St. Joseph's Prep here in his sophomore year? Mayo Howell darts to the end zone. Touchdown LaSalle. And Mayo Howell puts the cap on this one.
That's that speed of Howell. I mean, we talk about it all the time every week, but you see the hard cut, making a man, juking him out of his cleats, and able to find the end zone to officially put us in with the clock at 1.5 minutes in the running clock scenario.
There it is. Rob's on top of it.
We hit it. We did it, folks.
LaSalle has had some games this year where they've had it at halftime, which was unbelievable. But to do it against a pretty darn good Roman Catholic team, again, an undermanned Roman Catholic team, can't be said enough. Certainly so is LaSalle, with Sam Brown not playing more than a couple snaps. But I think a loss like Jaden Pope is going to affect a team like Roman Catholic more than it will a team like LaSalle.
Certainly. I mean, they got a lot of great athletes on that side of the field and guys that have really come into their own throughout the year, but you're asking guys to guys like Robinson to fill in positions that they're not used to. And, I mean, we did see it last year with Daly. I know, Sean Daly did really well for the Explorers, stepping in as a quarterback, coming over from wide receiver, but you're asking a lot of guys to do that, and when they're not used to it, and, you got a program that's in a it's tough to call high school football a rebuilding situation, but you got new coaches and all that sort of stuff happening, and it's tough. But give them credit; they fight. They continue to fight. It's not like this team's folding. I mean, they're certainly out here every drive of the game today and doing what they can to move the ball. And
make no mistake, this team will be back next year. Jaden Pope's only a junior.
Yep. Kind of feels like the Machida situation just for Roman.
Yeah, Rick Priest's done a great job with this program. Excited to see where they go. I think the Catholic League is in a spot where you want more teams like Roman Catholic that are up and coming and playing really well and providing more of a level playing field. And I think you're going to see more of this team as long as Rick Priest's there and his staff is here. I think you will see this Roman team next year healthier and ready to make a statement. But today is LaSalle's day, 45-7, taking down Roman Catholic, moving on to the District 12 semifinal, which is next weekend, 6 o'clock p.m. at Northeast High School against St. Joseph's Preparatory School, a rematch of September the 28th, where St. Joseph's Prep got the better of LaSalle in a big way. But it is tough to come back and replicate a performance like that. LaSalle is going to be ready for it. And I cannot wait to see this Explorer team put their season on the line next weekend against their arch rival. It's going to be a little bit colder than it was that September 28th. This team has grown a lot. And let's see if Sam Brown is ready to go. And let him fly. Second and 5. Here's a scramble. Thrown ahead, and we'll get the first down. Shamar Ellis. Good to see him get across the chains. He, Rob, was very impressive here today for Roman Catholic. And that should be the last play of the football game.
Certainly was Ellis, but looks like they're trying to rush up to get one more off here.
Down to 1 second. And they do get the snap off. They don't blow it dead. They'll fire across the middle. And incomplete. LaSalle College High School wins the football game 45-7. Taking down Roman Catholic 2 weekends in a row. And certainly the test still awaits. Next weekend, Saturday at 6, Northeast High School LaSalle against St. Joseph's Prep. A game we've been waiting for since that late September evening when St. Joseph's Prep made a statement here in the Catholic League. But I think we all knew deep down somewhere that we would very likely get this matchup again. That matchup is upon us. Looking forward to it, Rob.
Should be a fun one. It's officially prep week, so these Explorers can celebrate this win for maybe the next few minutes, but attention is going to turn to that next Saturday night matchup and what LaSalle will have in front of them. And it's always a big one when it's prep. It's the rivalry game, but now you're talking about the rivalry taking shape and coming at you in the form of a playoff game, and one that I'm sure these guys are not going to want to have the end result look like it did the last time out. They know they're a different team. They know Prep, hey, they're a different team too. They're not going to.
Unfortunately so, yeah.
But
without Jeremiah Trotter Jr., who got hurt earlier in the year, you do hate to see that. You really do.
Yep. But they've had chances to grow as well throughout the rest of their schedule. So this is a different matchup that we're coming into here next weekend. So one that we're certainly looking forward to, and I can't wait to get on the call for.
It's been a pleasure, Rob, all year long. It's good to get back to Plymouth Whitemarsh as well. The first time they've played here this year. Played at a lot of other places, but back and played well at this venue. Won the football game, and as they do every single game, they come to the student section and to the band, raise those helmets high for the playing of the LaSalle alma mater. We'll let them take it away. LaSalle College High School, a winner 45-7 here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. As we've mentioned, next up, Saturday evening, 6 o'clock p.m., Northeast High School. Bob Long, Rob Stott, Tyler Kern will be on the broadcast of the rematch of the best rivalry in the state of Pennsylvania, LaSalle College High School against St. Joseph's Preparatory School, the nationally ranked Hawks. Thanks, everybody, for being with us here today. For Kevin Long on camera, welcome back to the crew, my friend. Thanks for being here. For Rob Stott, my trusty sidekick every weekend. For all of us here at Bob Long Sports, I am Bob Long saying so long until next weekend. LaSalle a winner, and on to the District 12 semifinal. Good afternoon, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.